Welcome back to this week's edition of the Softball Insider featuring Nevada head coach Matt Meuchel. And Matt, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Coming off of your trip to Oklahoma, a rough weekend in Oklahoma, 0-4 against four really high-quality ranked opponents. They say winning can cure a lot of things, and over the last 5 games, you get 4 victories and maybe should have gotten a fifth. And you got some things going offensively over the last week.
Yeah, we have. I think this is the stretch that we're looking at in our schedule to kind of get that momentum at this point. Coming into this weekend, like you said, winning 4 straight ball games, and really should have got the 5th ball game, kind of gave it away in that last inning along the way. And I think it's just a little bit of a hangover as far as some of the challenging competition we've had. But yeah, it's just we're looking to gain some momentum, kind of right now not really having all the momentum that we need, but kind of gaining that momentum.
You look at your first 16 games, and of those 16 games, 11 coming against teams that were or are ranked now. And then you're in a stretch here where maybe the competition is not quite as tough. I imagine from a coaching perspective, it's important for you as coaches to really kind of focus on the approach and focus on this Nevada team as a whole rather than the opponent during this stretch.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, at this point, we're looking just to get back and kind of play high-quality ball. You know, be a little bit more aggressive when you. The challenge with facing so many ranked teams and kind of being in so many tight games and so many difficult games and not being able to do the things you want to do game after game after game feels like it's always going to be that way. And at this point, you know, these games and these teams that we're going to play here coming up aren't going to necessarily possess the same challenges as the group that we had in the first 16. And so if we can get back to being a little bit more aggressive, asserting ourselves at the plate, on the mound, and on defense, that's what we're looking for as far as what's going to carry us into WAC play.
You look over these the last week and a half basically. In terms of in the circle, Mallory Darby, I thought has been particularly impressive. A couple of complete game victories, 11 strikeouts, hasn't walked a batter over her last 2 outings. I think she's just given up 1 earned run. Your sophomore is really getting consistent in the circle.
She is. I mean, she's still got her best outings ahead of her at this point, but as far as if you compare where she was the first couple weekends of the year and getting hit around a little bit. She's certainly somebody that's never, don't think is going to struggle with walking batters. She throws strikes quite a bit, and I think her statistics will always reflect that. But you know, her issue is she'll get ahead in the count, and then she'll be a little bit too good when she's ahead in the count. I mean, she's kind of susceptible to giving up 2-strike hits, and she's been a lot more aggressive. You've seen her settle in. You've seen her pitch out of jams, which is always a good thing. I mean, I think that's probably a testament more than anything to what she's doing at this point is she's able to pitch out of the jams that she finds herself in. And I feel like, you know, one of the things that additionally you'll see with her on the mound is we seem to be playing a lot better defense with her on the mound. You know, we don't have to stand out there for a long time and watch the ball, you know, miss the strike zone and wonder whether we're going to get the ball anytime soon. So I think it's just one of those things that functionally it's a lot better. Yeah, she's still giving up a few big hits here and there and gives up a home run that she needs not to, but those are things that she knows she needs to fix, and she's in the process of getting better at for sure.
And then offensively, you're seeing you know, your leadoff hitter Noelle Mika's starting to get into her groove. I think she's riding a 13-game hitting streak going into this week's games. The middle of your lineup certainly is doing the job you expect them to do, but you're seeing some production out of some people that maybe you didn't know what you were going to get this year. Specifically, Courtney Wiley is doing a job at the plate. Megan Fincher shown some power over the last week and a half. There's been some things offensively that I imagine are probably encouraging for you right now.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we continue to score runs, and I mean, really, that's the objective of the entire game is to outscore the competition. I mean, that's pretty basic along the way, but you know, if you look at our offensive numbers and look at some of our lack of production in some of the spots in the lineup, we continue to find a way to scratch runs and manufacture runs, and a lot of that is due to the fact that, you know, the top 5 and the top 6 people in our lineup are manufacturing quite a bit. It's nice to see the bottom 3 and the bottom 4 start to kind of contribute a little bit more, get themselves on base. I think the big thing that you're seeing that's an encouraging sign is we're walking more throughout the course of the lineup. I think, and it's one of those situations where certainly we're not, you know, looking to walk, but if you're given the opportunity and the opportunity, you take your walk along the way. So, you know, when you see those people and really the people that are not necessarily contributing high average, if they can get themselves on base and set themselves up for those people that are kind of hitting for high average right now and give them a chance to drive them in. I mean, it's one of those situations where offense in this game tends to be you do things together. Even though it's an individual thing, you kind of get in streaks together. Offense gets hot together. I don't feel like we've really got hot at any given time. I feel like we've shown what we can do when we don't hit well. From 1 to 9 at this point, and then at some point I feel like we're going to catch a little bit of steam, catch a little bit of momentum, and really start to turn it open.
Going into this week's games, 2 games each against Colorado State and Iona over at the Capital Classic in Sacramento. What do you see about these opponents coming up this weekend?
Well, a Colorado State team that, 2 things out of the Colorado State team. First, they're a team that traditionally has given us a little bit of fits. They're a team that we lost to twice in 2008, which is probably our best season here as far as what we were able to do. And then last year we had to scratch out a 1-run, 1-0 ball game at home against them. So we've never really had an easy time with this ball club, no matter how good or bad they are along the way. They're a very high quality team this year. They're playing real well. Their record reflects that. You're going to see them swing the bat quite a bit. I think that their pitching staff is a staff that we can score some runs against. I'm looking for our defense and our pitching to come together and try to hold them down. They're definitely going to test us. I think they're a team that kind of is on your schedule that you don't realize how good they are at the moment until they get into conference play and they play well in the Mountain West, and they might play themselves into a position where they're an NCAA tournament team. At the moment they're not really getting national recognition as far as being ranked or anything, but as far as their statistics, their tradition, their history against us, and their record, I think they're going to be a higher quality opponent than we give them or than we think at the moment along the way. The Iona team, I don't know a whole lot about. I know what their history is. They've struggled a little bit. Their pitching's not quite as solid as we're used to seeing, so I expect us to be able to put up some runs in that game and be able to generate some momentum, I think, on offense. And really, offensively, they're a team that swings the bat, but a team that our pitching staff should be able to handle.
With WAC play just around the corner, how much of this weekend is more so about yourself, about fine-tuning some of the things that your team needs to work on with going into WAC play next week?
Yeah, we're just continuing to understand that we're not quite as aggressive as we need to. We don't quite have that Nevada swagger that we've had in the past, and trying to assert that a little bit more and kind of take control of that and choose that swagger instead of letting the game kind of choose it and along the way. And I think that's a big thing for the weekend is getting out there. We're starting to play a little bit looser, I think, as a group, which allows you to make plays along the way. And I think that's what we're looking for this weekend is to play a little bit looser than we have in the past, kind of get out there and just attack from game one.
What will be the availability this week of Sam Pusey, your freshman outfielder? She's been out about 3 weeks now with an ankle injury. How's she coming along? Do you expect to maybe get her back in a little bit this week?
Yeah, definitely. She took a pretty good high ankle sprain that's kept her out for a little bit of time, and we just wanted to make sure that it was nice and healthy. She got out there and swung it a little bit yesterday. We expect that she'll probably be able to DP for us. She's a little bit ginger, still running on it, so it's a situation where we're going to definitely have to run for her if she gets on multiple times in a game. But it's something that, being her right foot and her front foot as a left-handed hitter, it's a situation where it's a little bit ginger, but it's not quite as ginger as it would be if it was her back foot along the way. So she's able to swing it. She swung it yesterday. She was, right now I don't think she's any more than 90%, but 90% is pretty good at this point. I think she'll get healthier and healthier as she goes along. So we're definitely going to give her some looks this weekend.
This week, spring break here on campus at the University of Nevada, and softball players not able to really enjoy a traditional spring break like the rest of the students and even some student athletes get to. How did your team kind of spend its week this week?
Well, it was a little bit of a relaxing week for sure, because you just don't have class to go to. So we were able to take advantage of the great weather, practice in the morning, get the afternoons off. We took a couple days off. We took some opportunities to do some community service, got out in the community and did some reading. It's National Reading Week, so we went out in school and read to the students, and that's always exciting just because it's exciting to be around that age group and just see the excitement that they have for our players and the admiration that they have for college athletes. I think sometimes, when you're in this setting, you kind of forget that from time to time. And for them to be able to get out there and interact with that group and really kind of model what they do and how important college is along the way, I think it was really great for our students to do that. And like I said, it's been the best of a bunch of worlds because we've been able to rest and relax a little bit, been able to get in a bunch of, a lot of practice time, and probably, quite honestly, yesterday was, and I told the group this, it was probably our best practice in the 2 years we've been here. It was really high quality practice. We got a lot accomplished. We're putting a few wrinkles in here and there. It's one of those situations where now we're 20 games in. We kind of know what our personnel set is. We know what we're doing well, what we're not doing well, kind of changing some of the schemes that we're doing. It's not going to be huge changes, but just kind of adding a few new wrinkles here on offense and defense.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you joining us, Matt. And, we'll be back next week. Looking forward to Western Athletic Conference play. But this weekend, 4 games at the Capital City Classic in Sacramento. All 4 games will be able to heard live on NevadaWolfPack.com. You can also follow live stats on the website as well. Appreciate you joining us.